Hi lovers, welcome to the second episode of the Lover Girl Diary. Today's episode is Skeletons in My Closet. We're going to be facing our shadows, doing a little bit of shadow work together. There's 3 parts to healing these skeletons in your closet. The first part is acknowledgement. The second part is planning for change. The third part is making the change. We all know that in order to see things come into fruition, we have to make some effort, we have to do the work, and we have to be patient. Facing these skeletons and these shadows, it's not an overnight thing. And a lot of people think like, oh, I'm enlightened and I'm aware, I'm woke. And so that automatically means that I'm all love and light. And that's not how it is, okay? It is so far from that. I actually think that the moment that you become aware is the moment that these shadows start to come out and you start having to face these things so that you can get to your best self. What's a conscious person if they don't acknowledge both their light and their dark? So today we're diving deep into the darkness with the pretty spirit. And of course I got on all black, I'm matching the vibe. Darkness, black, shadows. We're gonna start off with a few different topics, and I'm gonna be asking you guys some questions and answering them myself. Feel free to leave your responses in the comments, or you can just jot these down in your own journal or diary and do some shadow work yourself. It's good that we dig deep into certain things because we can try to avoid things very often, and I know in my own life there's been a lot of times where I would rather not look at something than to face it head on. So the purpose of this is for us to find some new ways of healing. What are some things that you need to forgive yourself for? I personally need to forgive myself for a lot of things. Disappointing myself in certain situations, the way that I handled things, I feel like it could have been different. I need to forgive myself for staying in situations that I knew were not good for me, not listening to my intuition. There's been a number of times where I've had some kind of hard lessons because I didn't listen the first time, and my stubbornness is definitely something I need to forgive myself for. Though I've had to learn the hard way a few times, I got the message. I wouldn't acknowledge things for what they are. And that's a part of the shadows too. Living in a state of delusion, not enjoying my life to the fullest. I feel like I've been here 22 years, which I guess is 22 different lives because each year is completely different. And I feel like I haven't allowed for myself to live every moment. Like, I disassociate a lot of the times, definitely deal with derealization. I've kind of lived in the shadows of myself for so long, which is why I'm really excited to be coming back out my shell right now and reintroducing myself, because I'm a whole different person. I'm like a butterfly that just got out of its cocoon. I've been dealing with these deep things from my past, these traumas and these mindsets and all these different things, and now I feel like I'm not living in it anymore, which is really good. But I need to forgive myself for the time that I spent in my cocoon trying to heal, trying to understand, because it's a long process and it's not over, but you do have to remind yourself you can live while you heal. I need to forgive myself for living in other people's shadows and trying to take on other people's traumas. Since a child, since a youth, I have felt the need to take on everybody's emotions and try to fix everything for the people I love, and I have very much a savior complex, and I need to forgive myself for that because I am empathetic, I am caring, and I want to make change in people's lives. Granted, I'm not God, so I can't just and have things just change for people, but I always had good intentions with the living in people's shadow part. I need to forgive myself for that because I'm such a big energy. Like, I should not have to water myself down to be around certain people, or to not get on certain people's nerves, or so that certain people don't feel like I'm so full of myself. Definitely need to forgive myself for that, because it's very belittling. And it's like you get to a point where you're like, okay, wait, am I letting myself be small? What do you think you haven't healed from past traumas? I don't feel like I've healed from my assault that happened a few years ago. I feel like I'm still in a place of going back and forth from being angry to disgusted to sad to confused to just not wanting to be here. You know, like it's hard to deal with. That situation also brought up a lot of other traumas and memories that I had suppressed, and so dealing with those as well, more assaults and more neglect and more emotional pain and all of those things. Family dynamics not being the healthiest is something I need to heal from. Bad friendships is something I need to heal from. Eating disorders, body dysmorphia. I could go on and on. There's a lot of things from my past and present that I need to heal. I'm just being patient with myself, because it takes time to process all of this stuff, and there's not always a solution for it except to just feel it through. That's what I'm doing right now. What parts of myself do I try to keep hidden from others? I honestly try to hide whenever I'm going through it. I've often felt like a burden when I'm too emotional or when I'm not doing well. And so I try to hide that from people. I try to suffer in silence. Like, my misery doesn't like company is something I always say. Like, I would prefer to be sad alone or go through it alone. But deep down, honestly, I would not prefer that. Like, I would love to be surrounded by people that care about me and support me. And granted, I have been, thank God, like, I have had people around me that have supported me in these moments when I try to mask my emotions. And so that's one thing that I try to suppress. Something else that I try to keep hidden from others, not feeling confident. You always want to appear confident, or like, yeah, like, I got this, like, I know who I am, I know what I want. Like, everybody wants to be that person, and I'm not always that person. And so I have to be honest with myself. Like, some days I don't feel confident, some days I don't see myself. That's something that I try to keep hidden, because people will play on that and try to manipulate you or tear you down even more when they know that you're not feeling your best self. Third, I would say sometimes I try to hide how much I care, like my emotions, how much I love people, how much I want to be around people. Like, I feel like I've had to water down my emotions and connections a lot of times, because people are not reciprocal or take advantage of that and don't treat you right. And so that's another thing that I have tried to suppress in the past, is just caring too much. What are the things that I would like to change about myself? I would like to change my eating habits. I've grown to emotionally eat over the years, and it's caused me to not feel as confident in myself, but also to just kind of mask my emotions instead of feeling them. I would like to change my stubbornness, that I sometimes hold grudges emotionally. I would like to change the way I respond to my triggers, because I can be very mean and violent. And that's another thing I try to keep hidden from people too, is that dark side of me, like where I get really out of character. I try to keep that suppressed as best as possible, because it's just like, who wants to be around someone like that? I always feel guilty after my outbursts, because it's just like, that's not who I am. But like, yes it is, but like, you know, there are better ways to handle things. And so that's something I would like to change about myself. And falling into inconsistency, basically putting things off for another time, feeling like, oh, I'll do that later, or oh, you know, maybe I'm not good enough to do that. Like, going around getting things done is something I really want to change about myself. I want to persevere more. I want to push through more. Another thing, I would like to get over looking at the numbers and looking more at the impact and looking more at the people that do support me. And like, that's something big for me, because I feel like when you're starting off with something, you're like, oh, well, like, so-and-so didn't support me, or oh, this only got this amount of views, or, you know, that instant gratification thing, which is something I learned about in high school, that We as Gen Z really seek instant gratification. That's why we're constantly watching things that are quick and get right to the point. They either make us laugh, they make us cry, they do something, but they do it quick. And we want to post pictures when we want to get our likes right now. We want to, you feel me, get that job right now. We want to be who we want to be right now. Nobody likes to wait. Who likes to wait? Like, who likes to wait? But it's more about the journey than the destination. And while the destination matters too, you don't even know where you're going to end up half the time. So just enjoy the ride. Alright, this is our last one. What childhood messages or experiences contribute to my difficulty in accepting myself fully? I feel like I heard a lot as a child that my voice did not matter, and so it caused me to not always speak up about things. When I didn't want to do something or held back or wasn't comfortable with something, I would hear that I'm selfish, I'm greedy, I'm inconsiderate, I'm hard to please, ungrateful, lazy, a lot of names. I've been called a lot of names. All those things contributed to the way that I looked at myself and that I looked at other people, and they are not my characteristics and they do not make up who I am. And so if I was to hold on to all of these different ideas and thoughts about me, I wouldn't be the awesome person that I'm going to be. And so I encourage you as well to let go of some of those things that other people might have put in your head, or those things that people said that you are. Nobody can tell you who you are. You have to find who you are. And a lot of those negative things are projection. What we're gonna do before I wrap this up, and thank you guys if you stuck around this long, I really appreciate you. We are going to say a few affirmations just to set our heads right for the rest of our day. I am accepting of all parts of myself, both light and dark. I am happy with where I am right now, today. I love myself fully and wholly. I don't care what others think or say about me, unless it's for my best interest. I don't deny any parts of myself, and my body, mind, and spirit hold no shame for the decisions that I've made or the traumas that I've been through. I will always be divinely guided by the Most High, so I have nothing to worry about. I am uniquely designed and crafted by the Most High. I will accomplish what I came here to do. Thank you guys for watching this video. I really appreciate you once again, and I will see you guys on the next episode of the Lover Girl Diaries. Bye, lovers.